Todos. Bueno, hablas español.
The automation, the next revolution. I'm basically going to scare the shit out of you. By the end of this presentation, you will have downloaded n8n, or at least you're going to go home and download n8n. And in a month or 2 months' time from now, you will have built-in AI agents. Because if you don't, you're not going to have a job. Well, if you're in America, you won't have a job in a year's time. Here, probably 2 or 3 years' time. So you have a bit more time down here because, you know, yeah, a bit slower. But anyways, let's jump into it. So why should you care about automations, all this stuff? Because throughout lifetime, our lifetime and lifetime of our parents and all that, there's been big technological revolutions that have changed the fabric of our entire world. Most recently, or a long time ago, was the typewriter. Came in and changed the way how we communicate. Then came in the personal computers, Steve Jobs and all of that, and we all had to basically learn how to use computers. Then came the dot-com bubble, and from this came like all the FANG sauce, the SaaS, and pretty much the digital economy as we're in today was invented because of this. Changed the entire workforce. We all had to learn SaaS. Everyone is working, made millions and billions off of that. Then came the smartphones. We all had to learn smartphones. No, people who weren't technologically savvy all learned smartphones. We all have one in our pocket today. Some of us have 2 smartphones, whatever. Now it's automations. Automations is replacing the workforce as we know it today, literally, like replacing all of us. So the AI evolution timeline. AI's been around for a while before it was like ML, like machine learning, but machine learning and AI is basically the same thing. But it became popular recently in like 2022. That's when it came out. That's when ChatGPT came out. That's where we all learned about ChatGPT. Now it's changed into AI agents and automations, which some of you probably know and a lot of you probably don't know. So we're going to really dig into that. So it's gone from basically, a lot of people still think this is all AI is. It's just a chat interface. It's gone from that to this. A complex series of AI agents all working together doing basically, I don't know, like a department of people all within a matter of minutes. So basically replacing entire teams of people, completely automated. That's where we're at today. Okay, so reality check. If you're not scared yet, you're gonna be scared. So myth versus reality. These are some wake-up calls. Wake-up call number 1, AI agents can't replace humans. The technology isn't ready. 2 days ago, Mark Berneff, CEO of Salesforce, fired 4,000 people, replaced all 4,000 people with AI agents. These all support staff. Mostly support staff are overseas, Philippines, aquí en Mexico también, pero they're all now AI agents because AI agents are cheaper, faster, and better. But okay, what if I'm not a support staff? What if I'm a developer? My job is safe, right? No. Coinbase just fired a bunch of developers. Why? Because the developers weren't using AI or weren't using it well enough. You have to use it or you get fired. Okay, well, what if I'm a business owner? I don't need to know AI. I'm fine, right? No. This guy here, Adam Robinson, one of the biggest content creators on LinkedIn, 140,000 followers. In 19 days, he automated his entire company of $5.7 million. He's have 3 people. He automated all of the sales, support, and development, 0 human intervention. So with all that money that he's saving, you know what he's gonna do with that money? He's gonna reinvest that money, he's gonna take it out his competitors. So that means you as a business person, if you don't do this too, you're gone. Your business is gone. It'll be taken up by somebody that does do it. Okay, so now that I got your attention, AI isn't just coming, it's here and it's not gonna be just like a few months or a few years, it's now. So you got a choice, you should automate or learn automations now. Okay, so why learning AI? Simple AI is just not enough. Simple AI, like an individual AI tool that just does one thing at a time, like ChatGPT, versus automations that work 24/7 without human intervention, multi-orchestrated workflows of automations that handle entire processes, automate entire departments. Like there's no one or the other. This clearly is far better and it's automating entire departments of people. So that's why you can't just know this, you have to know this. There's no choice, you have to know it, at least the basics. Okay, automations. There are different levels of automations. There's level 0, manual, no automation. This is just full humans. Nothing AI, nothing whatever. We're gonna start at level 1. Level 1 is basically your ChatGPT. It's your ChatGPT giving you a recommendation on something. So we got the human working with ChatGPT, which is like, you know, your LLM prompt. And it generates something for you based on a question. Level 2, what is that? This is basically a task executor. This is you tell AI to do something, and AI does it. So it's partial execution, but pauses for a sign-off, meaning that there's a human in the loop. For a given task that it does, or task that it does, there's still a human in the loop. A human reviews the AI output before it does stuff, like list out the prospects, before it messages the prospects. So there is the human in the loop. Level 2 is where a lot of businesses are right now with automations. They're at level 2, okay? Level 3 is the big thing. Level 3 is where Adam Robinson is with his company. It's around level 3, you can maybe argue level 4, but basically it's multi workflow execution, runs entire workflows end to end under most conditions. It's basically what I showed at the beginning. It's this. This is level 3. This is multi-workflow execution. Each of these are automation AI agents. It all works together, does a bunch of different things all at the same time. It can do sales, it can do support, it can do everything all together. That's level 3. Level 3's got problems though. With level 3, still need a human role supervisor. A human that actually like gets alerted of an issue, has to go on there, has to fix the code and all that stuff, because these automation workflows, they need maintenance. Without maintenance, they break. So that's where level 4 comes in. Level 4 is basically these workflows basically start to fix themselves. So that's what they do. You can fully autonomous sales operator, for example. You can automate entire outbound systems. You can automate entire strategists and auditors. And basically these systems are designed to self-fix themselves. Not many businesses are here yet. This is in the next year or so. And then where we're going to be pretty soon is full AI automation takeover. Humans just watching and being on the beach with their Corona, muchos cervezas, y no hay nada más, solo eso, okay? And all the humans do is just set the strategic vision and governance. Like think of it as like a board of directors. That's level 5. That's what we're going to be in a year or so, give or take. We'll see. Okay, you're probably thinking, how the hell do I roll this out? How do I do automation? Start with the level 1, level 2. Start with the ChatGPTs. Start with the basic stuff. Don't go right to, do not immediately go to level 4 or level 3. This is a progression. So do this over time. If you are going to do this, which you should, we're all pretty good at doing this. What we all need to get good at now is doing partial execution with human in the loop. This is what you all need to do, because very soon this is what we're all going to be doing, because we have to. We don't have a choice. And then eventually you do level 3, because level 3 it does a lot of work. It can do maybe like 80% of process of, automation at level 3. So level 3 is the goal for you to get to with a lot of processes in the next year or so. And then the moonshot level 5, which will happen in a long time. That's you sitting on a beach with a Corona and not doing anything, because AI just does everything. Okay, now you need to understand, LLMs are your friends. You need to use LLMs. They're all good at different things. You need to use them for their capabilities. They're different capabilities. You can't use ChatGPT for everything. ChatGPT is a generalist, but it's not a writer. It doesn't do pictures well. It's terrible at pictures. It does research, but it doesn't do research that well. So who does the best research? Perplexity. Nobody's better than Perplexity at research. By far the best. They have Sonar Pro. It can find anything on the internet far better than Gemini can, far better than Claude, far better than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a really good generalist, so you need to use it for the general questions. it's very good APIs, the best APIs. So when you're building these automation workflows, you use ChatGPT a lot because it's very good with the APIs. Like there's nothing better for the API access to do general things than ChatGPT. Claude is the best at coding. When you're making these workflows, you're going to need to know code. Even if you don't need to know code, your Claude is going to know the code for you. It's going to write the code, it's going to debug the code, it's going to do all that stuff. So Claude is the best for that. Claude is like 100 times better than ChatGPT, doesn't even compare. Gemini is terrible at writing, never use Gemini for writing. But Gemini is really good at images and videos. It's by far the best. It's like 100 times better than the rest of them. Claude doesn't even do images and pictures. ChatGPT does, it sucks. It used to be the best, but now it sucks. Perplexity doesn't do it. Grok does it, but Grok's not even on the list here because, you know, it's Elon Musk, who cares? Okay, so this is basically from individual to organizational scales. So you need to think about, this is framing your mind around the AI agent. An AI agent is practically a human. It can do a one human job function. But what if you have a bunch of AI agents working together? Well, that's when you're at a multi-agent orchestration, which is what a lot of companies are doing now. That's what the example that I showed you before, where this guy is laid off 4,000 people, that's an example of that. Or this guy, an entire department, the company's offline, all sales, support, and development is all done by AI agents. That's probably in this chart here. It's like maybe level 2, maybe level 3. We could say level 3, you could also say level 2. It depends on how big the organization is, right? But the point is that you need to think of these AI agents as actual humans, because that's basically what they are. They have a memory, they take an input, they do an output. That's what humans do. They're designed to basically be humans. So the power of AI agents is when you make them all work together. And when you make agents within agents within agents all work together, then you get like enterprise level automation, which is the goal of every single company out there, because it will reduce the cost of their human labor way down, which means profits go way up. So of course every company wants that, right? The compounding effect is extremely clear. This is why every business out there is basically, it's just started. It's just started. This happened 2 days ago, 4,000 people laid off to AI agents. This is just the beginning. Every company is looking at this and being like, holy shit, how do we do this? If they're not already doing this. Most of them are probably already doing this. I'm talking to them, they are doing this. A lot of them are, you know, once they see this, they're being like, I can cut my cost by a factor of 100. Hell yeah. And increase my, like the reliability of everything, and my output, and my quality of my output goes up. Of course I'm gonna do that. Why wouldn't I? So there's different types of AI agents. Like you need to understand all these different terms within the AI agent in the automation world. You may have heard agentic AI. I don't know what it is in Espanol, agente AI, IA, for ejemplo, but everyone knows generative AI. Generative AI is you talk to ChatGPT, you say, write me a message, make me a picture, send me a message, make me a picture, write me something, right? It's a one-shot prompt. Agentic AI is smart. Agentic AI knows what you want, knows what you're going to want in the future, and it does it for you. It can book a ticket for you. It can buy stocks for you. It can buy, I don't know, e-commerce for you, products for you. It knows what you want. It's already doing stuff for you. It thinks for you based on what it thinks that you want. That's the difference between agentic and generative. This is really key. You need to know this. You need to know RAG. RAG is it's called Retrieval Augmented Generation. This is a big, hot term that's come out recently. Basically what it means is, I don't know what the term is in Spanish, in Espanol, pero it's like if you're trying to find a needle in a haystack, that's what this is. It finds that needle in a haystack. And a haystack is like, picture a giant room like this. You're trying to find a tiny little object, and that tiny little object can be anywhere. The amount of possibilities of this object being in places is infinite. This will find it for you. How does it find it? There's a question. You ask something, it runs an AI agent. The AI agent works with another agent, and it basically searches through everything. It's basically a bunch of agents all working together with LLMs, trying to figure out where the information that you need, extract those informations. The information could be in many different places, in like a database or whatever. It will find all of those things for you and give you the answer. That's RAG. RAG is the most smartest way to search within many different documents, hundreds of documents, thousands of documents, and answer one question while finding data points from thousands of different documents. That's how it does it. This is very useful. Lots of businesses, I have a friend that builds really complex RAGs, and they're very hard to build. Now, the AI agent, which is the human, which is replacing humans, which is why you should all be scared, this is how it works. It works, this is the architecture of it in a nutshell. There is a human or an agent, because AI agents can talk to other agents, and basically there's always a prompt and a response that goes into it. So it goes into a thing like this. This thingy works with the LLM. The LLM can be anything. It can be ChatGPT, it can be Grok, it could be whatever, doesn't matter. There's a memory so that it remembers what we've talked about in the past. There's tools, meaning that it can access other things. It can, like for example, you can say, use a tool to find the weather about a certain country of something. The tools, you can add infinite amount of tools to an agent. And then there's different prompt templates. You can program it to basically respond a certain way or to look for the information a certain way or what have you. But it always has these core things. An AI agent will have tools, memory, LLM, and prompt template. It has to have that. Without it having that, it's not a human. It's not powerful. It needs to have a memory. Humans have memories, so that's why it has to have that. It needs to have tools. Humans have tools. We have hands. We can use a tool like a laptop. It can do that too. An LLM is basically a brain. It's the processing power. And so you can swap out different brains within agents. So that's why agents are so powerful, because it's practically a human. It's a human customized to how you want it to behave and how you want it to take information, process information, inputs, outputs. The prompt is the input, the response is the output from the system. Now, the beautiful thing about learning AI agents is there's tons of free resources. The best free resource on the internet right now is YouTube. This is one of the most famous YouTube creators. There's lots of Spanish versions of it, so you can watch it in that. There's tons and tons of ways that you can learn this on the internet. You don't have to learn this, you don't have to pay thousands of dollars, even hundreds of dollars. You don't have to pay any money, and you can learn this for free. I learned it for free, completely free. I didn't pay $1 to learn this stuff. Now I sell it professionally, build it and sell it professionally. Tons of free resources. There's school communities, school.com. So you should be joining these communities, you should be talking to people, you should be learning together. It's hard to learn this by yourself. You absolutely have to use LLMs to learn this. LLMs is your best friend. Claude is your best friend when it comes to learning agents and debugging agents and writing code, debugging code. There's nothing better than Claude. I use it all the time. I've used it many times today. Now, for learning how to build AI agents, there's two main platforms of the biggest. There's make.com, which is this one here, versus n8n. They look about the same. They do about the same things. The main difference between the two is that n8n has this. It has AI agents. Make.com doesn't. Without AI agents, automations are practically useless, in my opinion. You can do stuff, you can send an email, you can look up stuff on the internet, but you can't process information like a human can. So n8n is the best because it can do that. It can do what humans can do. Make can't. So Make is easier to use, much easier. n8n is also pretty easy, not as easy as this. So I recommend this, but if you're gonna learn automations and you're scared to do n8n, that's okay, use make.com because it's easier. But at least use one of the two. Okay, now we're gonna build an agent together. You guys excited? Okay, great. Yes. Oops, we went a little too far. Okay, cool. So, this isn't what we're going to do. This is n8n. These are all my workflows. We're not going to get into that. This is all proprietary information. We're going to go to create workflow, and now you're on a blank canvas. And in this canvas, you can add stuff to. You can add notes to it. It's hard doing this without a mouse, but as you can see, there is a ton of different things. Well, you can't really see from this, but for example, if I want to add a Facebook node, I can add Facebook, as you can see here. If I want to add Gmail or Figma, I can add Figma. There's Gmail, there's infinite amounts of nodes here. These are all pre-built nodes. So you can use pre-built nodes, you can use custom nodes. And n8n's great because you can use all the pre-built ones, which is a great way to learn, because it's going to be hard to learn all this stuff up front. What we're going to do is we're going to build an agent. So we're going to go first step. We're going to type in agent. I can't even see. It's so hard on actual call. Okay. There we go. So we have the AI agent node. Okay. So we have a node here. Okay, we'll zoom in here so we can see better. So it can take a message, and if we give it a message, hola, nothing works. We get a green arrow that indicates that information went into the agent. We got the output. The output is not working. Why is it not working? It's missing some things. It's missing the brain. It needs at least a brain. Without a human, think about your body. Without your brain, you're useless. We need to give it a brain. So let's go ahead and give it a brain. So now when we give it a brain, we have, get rid of this, we have a ton of different LLMs that we can choose from. We can use Anthropic, we can use Gemini, we can use the Chinese one, DeepSeek if we want. We can use OpenRouter, we can use Llama, Llama's terrible. We can use OpenAI. So we're going to use OpenAI because, as I said earlier, it's the best and it's the cheapest. Now from OpenAI, we have all the different models here. OpenAI has, as you can see, a lot of different models. My favorite is 4o Mini, so we're going to use that. So we can just go ahead and select it. It makes it really easy to pick and choose the different interface that we want. Okay, so now that we have it, which we'll put it here, now we'll go ahead and we'll test it. We'll give another input. There we go. Now we got a response. It's so smart, it knows that I said hola, so how can I help you today? Cool. Now, this agent isn't complete. It's missing something, because what if I want to say, like, what? So I wrote there, what did I just ask you? Let's go ahead and ask it the question. Let's see if it can answer the question. It can't. It seems you might be asking me to something, but I can't answer the question. Why can't it answer this question? I asked it, what did I just ask you? There's no memory. So let's give it a memory. There's many different types of memories here. We can give it the most complex memory, where we can choose how to store the information in different servers wherever we want, or we can do the most simple memory, which for this demo purpose, we're just going to do simple memory. So now we have a memory. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask it the same thing. And so let's see what it says. You asked, what did I just ask you? And it was so smart, it corrected my spelling error, as you can see here. But now we know the memory works. I made a reference to it. Great. But remember, it's still missing something. It's missing, for example, that's cool, it's got a memory, but without tools, see, we gave it the LM, we gave it the memory. Without tools, it can't do anything useful. It's basically a baby that can just answer information, and that's it. It's not useful. It needs access to tools to be useful. So we're going to do that. We're going to give it a tool. And there's many different tools that we can use, as you can see here. The amount of tools, these are all pre-built tools that we can use. We can have it access Google Chat. We can have it access, I don't know what all this stuff says here. Let's zoom in. There we go. Yeah, so tons of different tools. It can access Google Analytics. It can access Facebook Graph API, so you can connect to Meta, Instagram, and all that stuff. Dropbox, you can connect to your Discord. You can connect it to tons of different things. These are all pre-built nodes, all the things you can do. Or you can call your own custom workflow tool if you want, or you can connect it using an HTTP request, API, you can connect it to the internet, you can make your own custom application if you want, your own custom tools. I already have a tool that is great for demo purposes. And see, these are my own workflows here. I have a Perplexity one because I like Perplexity for search. So here's my Perplexity tool. Great. So now we got the brain, we got the memory, and we got a tool. The Perplexity tool, which if you remember, is the best at researching things on the internet. So let's go ahead and ask it a question that only a human can do when it researches the internet. A few days ago, a company fired 4,000 people and replaced them with AI agents. What company was that? So I'm asking it, I think I may have to be specific. Yeah, okay. So 1 second. So the model doesn't know that the tool's there, so I gotta tell it. Okay, so I'm being explicit. I'm telling it there's a Perplexity tool, use the tool when you do your research. Now it's working. It's working the tool. It's searching the entire internet with Perplexity. And let's see if it answers the question. Look at this. For details, you can follow this. Okay, the company that recently fired 4,000 employees and replaced them with AI agents at Salesforce. Beautiful. ChatGPT can't even do that. It can't. Mark Bernioff announced that the company, blah, blah, blah. Great. It works. Yeah. Really useful. It can search any resource on the internet. Now this is a very powerful tool. This can do what a human can do. This is extremely powerful. And it gives me other information here. So how does this work? You can, over here, you can see exactly how the agent's working. It goes through a bunch of steps. It looks at the memory here. It's like, okay, what happened here? There's always system messages. Those are the prompts. It knows these are all default system messages. You can customize all this stuff, but it pulls up the actual history. Seems you asked this, the human a few days ago. See, this is my, it knows that I'm the human. It has me labeled as the human. That's great. That's the first thing it does. What's the next thing it does? It uses the brain. It pulls in the brain. The brain is, you got this input. It's thinking about it. It goes to, it's like, okay, I need to query another AI agent that will get me this information. This n8n made this query. I never made this query. It wrote this query. And it queried the Perplexity tool. The Perplexity tool ran, we can see which model ran, Sonar here, and we can see what Sonar did. Sonar just found all these resources here. A lot of resources, right? As a human, you need to go through all of this. You need to read this. You need to synthesize this, and you need to think. You need to think, okay, I have all this information here. Based on what the human asked me, based on this prompt, how should I answer this? Like, I don't know. I need to figure that out, right? I need to use my brain. So that's what it does. In here, it's basically figuring out how do I answer this. It's going, this is like its thought process here. This is the exact amount of tokens it used, blah, blah, blah. It goes a lot of back and forth. So this is the entire thought process of how it arrived at that. And then it records the response in simple memory. And then it gives us the answer here. So we just built this agent in, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and this agent can replace a researcher. This can replace a researcher right now, because it can research the internet much faster and much better than a human can. So there we go. That's the demo. So that's the demo. Key takeaway, I built this in 5 minutes. You all just watched me do it with one hand. Really difficult to do, but AI automation is more accessible than you think it is. We can all access this today. We all definitely need to do that. Okay, next steps. This is your homework, what you all need to do. Get n8n. Build your first automation. Build what I just built. Do it. It's not that hard. There's a lot of steps that I excluded. For example, wrong one. For example, OpenAI, there you need to have an account. It needs to be your own OpenAI account. You need to go to OpenAI, openai.com, and you need to buy credits, $5. That's it. Maybe it's less here, but something like that. You need to do that. It only costs you $5. The $5 will last you a very long time. That's it. That's all you need is OpenAI. If you want other stuff like Perplexity, then you're going to have to go to Perplexity and get API credits from them. But you need to get API keys. That's what, if I click edit here, yeah, see? You all need to get your own API keys and hook them into the system. Without API keys, this won't connect to your AI account, okay? So you need that. So there is a bit of a few steps that goes involved in making this, but it's not much money. It's very little. It's just a few dollars. That's it. You also need to sign up for n8n, which is free for like 2 weeks, and then it costs not that much money. It's like $10 or something. It's not much. So start now. There's nothing stopping you from doing this. There's tons of guides on the internet. You need to learn how to use an AI agent. You need to learn to do what I just did, because that thing can do infinite amounts of things. So you start, once you got your AI agent built, then you need to basically turn yourself into a consultant. You need to think about, okay, what are the most high impact processes in my job or in my daily life that takes up a lot of my time? You need to figure out, begin with simple workflows like email, transforms into data, maybe customer interactions, for example. Map out your processes. You need to learn to do that. I provide free resources on this if you want. Over time, you can scale gradually, and your AI agents can do much more complex. That's when you get more comfortable about doing this stuff. But it all starts with this. So over time, you can build basic automations that will save you 5-10 hours a week. And then eventually, the AI agents can do a bunch of things for you that you never have to do. And it's now instead of saving you 5 to 10 hours from a week, it's saving you 40 to 80 hours a week. And then eventually you're automating entire systems and you're making money from it. Or you're basically automating your friend's job or something. And then you become the most valuable person where you automate other people's jobs. Because you don't want to get automated, you want to automate the other person's job. And that's it. The choice is yours. You can continue the status quo, just continue with ChatGPT, which will result in you probably not having a job, unless you don't work with computers. If you don't work with your computers, there's no problem here. There's no issue. If you work with computers, well, there's a problem. You probably want to do this. You probably want to learn at least the basic automations, and then you can start automating stuff like coworkers' jobs, automating competitors out of business, etc. So this entire presentation I created with AI, the entire thing, and it took me about an hour. All of the visuals that you see, pretty much everything here is almost all AI. Like 90% of this is AI. If a human did this whole presentation, it would take hours, maybe 5 hours to do this. This is a good presentation. And make all these pictures too, but it just shows you, like, you really need to know AI, you need to know these tools. This was made with Gamma, G-A-M-M-A, great tool. There's tons of AI tools out there that will make great things for you, so you can save time and live a better life and not get automated. That's the key takeaway. Don't get automated, because it's already happening in the United States. It's going to happen here. So that's it. So be scared.
Gracias. ¿Alguien tiene alguna pregunta? Does anybody have a question?
Yes, about the tools. How do you know, or how do we pick what's the best tool for a job? Because in the model, no, in the model you say that you have an agent and the agent needs a tool, but then in the tool that you use to put the agent, you have like a selection of many tools. Yeah.
It depends on what you want it to do.
But yeah, so I'm new to this, but I don't know any of the tools. So how should I know what's the best tool for each thing?
It's not the best tool, it's what you want it to do. If you want it to search, use perplexity. If you want it to, we can take a look at the list.
Let's say maybe you want to make a payment.
Yeah, you can make a payment, yeah. For example, Stripe, payments, if you want. Or, for example, no PayPal, but in theory you can connect to PayPal if you want to.
So let's say I'm a teacher and I want to know if the students are cheating using AI for the homework. So how can I know using a tool that is generated by another AI?
That would be multi-workflows. You would have to build a process with multi-workflows. You can't do it with a single agent.
Oh, okay.
It'd be multiple agents.
Okay, thank you.
¿Otra pregunta?
Okay, so I've been starting to use Flowwise. What do you think about it? Like Flowwise instead of n8n?
Never used it.
Sorry,
Looks
I'm
good.
having trouble with it.
But does it have AI agents?
Yes. You could basically do the same. I haven't used n8n yet, but I've been starting to use this to create like workflow organization. So you don't have any background of Flowwise to use?
This seems simple, but it's still automation. It's good. It's a start. It's a start because you need to start with something. You start with something, and then over time, you realize that it can't do everything you want it to do. It doesn't have all the capabilities. And then you move on to the next tool. That's when you move on to, for example, the n8n. The n8n has more capabilities. You can build much more complex stuff with the n8n. For example, this. You can do entire complex outbound systems like this, which when they're running, they do a lot of stuff. This is probably scary, but this is really complex. It replaces entire departments of people. Talking like really big inputs, creating entire really detailed reports here, like very detailed reports, very detailed inputs, very complex prompts. These are very complicated prompts. I didn't write any of this. This is all written with Claude. You should never write a prompt, ever. As a human, never write this. Ever. Never. Always use an LLM. LLMs can write prompts 100 times better than humans can. We're stupid. They're smart. We're stupid, they're smart. When there's a problem with the workflow, LM will fix it for you. You just need to know how to give the information. As you can see, these are all complex prompts. But this is a complex workflow that does a lot of different things. I'm not going to get into it, but sorry. I'll say this again. Never, this is the prompt, never write it. Every time the LLM, this is an n8n node, every time this is inputs here, this is the prompt, this is the output. Sorry, that's not the output, that's wrong. That's the result. This is the input. These are two different types of prompts. This is a user prompt. This is a system message. So does two different things. That's more advanced. I'm not going to cover that today. This is the output. A really detailed 2-page report that tells me everything about a business. That would take a human 2 hours to write this, and it just did it in seconds. And this is extremely useful, because now I don't need a human to do this. And it's way better than what a human would do anyways. Because you see very, very long report. So eventually, over time, you'll get to building systems like this if you keep doing this. You can scrape information, for example. That's what this does. This is a custom node that uses custom connectors to interface with custom web pages on the internet to get information that you want. You can transform that information. So yeah, I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but you can eventually you'll get to that point if you keep learning and learning and learning. It just starts with the basics.
We have another question here.
I have a doubt. It is important to give a previous training to the AI to do some task, like I don't know, like maybe to build a content report in Excel. So you have to previously give a training for this and how to search the document, and the AI can transform this document in the report that you need.
Those are two questions. The first question is, how do you train AI? And that is done based on looking at the inputs and the outputs. For example, in this model here, I trained it on taking information here and producing really hyper-personalized outreach messages here. And these messages, when I first started making them, the output was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. So after maybe 20 different rounds of configuring and changing and modifying, this is the prompt here, and also modifying, that's the system prompt, and modifying, this is the even more complex prompt here. This is the prompt that describes its role, what it's supposed to do, how to make the messages, how to craft the messages. This wasn't written all at once in one try. To get this prompt to where it was took 10, maybe 20 different refinements. Now, the second part of the question was, how do you extract information from a document? That all depends. That depends on where the document is being stored. For example, I can show you here. Why is this thing in the way? If I open up this node, this is Google Sheets, and this is an interface with the Google Sheets, a Google Sheets node. And so I have an ID here, and this is how I can access information within a Google Sheets. And there's different ways on how you can map. So we have by name. You have to map to the columns because the system needs to know what information it's getting out of the sheets and what information, what is it doing with the sheet, right? There's different operations. You can update a row, you can delete a row, you can modify a row. There's tons of different things you can do. So there's different ways how you can interface with these sheets. There's different types of sheets out there. This is Google Sheets. You could use Airtable if you wanted, for example. I go into here. Airtable is pretty good, if you guys have heard of it. There's Airtable here. So you can connect to Airtable Sheets as well. You can't connect to Microsoft Sheets because Microsoft is a closed ecosystem. They will not allow you to use APIs to connect to them. They're closed, so you can't do that. But Google is very open, and Google's great. So you use nodes like this to basically access information. This node here, all it does is it just gets rows. That's all it does. That's it. And then what you do with the information from the sheets, well, that all depends on what you want to do. So the way that you want to make these workflows is you think about it, how does a human do it today? A human goes and looks for the sheet. A human looks at the row. A human grabs everything it needs to grab from that row. What does it do next? It's gonna In this workflow here, it's, you see we have this node here with the arrows. That means it's doing a loop. So for each row within the node, within the Google Sheets, it's working each row, and it's doing information. It's looking for stuff. It's doing what I'm telling it to do, what a human would do. So that's how you think about how to make these automations. You think about, what do I do today? How can I get this to do it? Think about your process. Map it out. You need to be a consultant.
Cool. ¿Alguien más tiene? Okay, tenemos, creo que tú levantaste primero la mano.
So yes, I have two questions actually. One is you were showing the hierarchy of different agents. I don't know if you have managed to create one that self-corrects, like an agent that, yeah.
This?
Yeah. And if you, I don't know if you can show an example. And the other one is, I don't know, what are you here to offer us? Is it just like an exposition, or I think your service?
So what I just showed you, maybe this. It'd be like a level 3. You could probably, you could argue level 3, maybe level 4, because level 4 is autonomous sales operator. It's not level 4. It's actually level 3. So I can show you level 3. A level 3 is this. This is a level 3. That's what this is. And it's not even that complex. There's much more complex workflows than this. Yeah. I have built level 4s. I've never built level 5. Because level 5 is the AI agents fix themselves. That's really complex. It can be done, but you're going to spend so much time programming it. You're going to have to basically make an entire workflow that you're going to, oh damn, I deleted it. But you're going to have to make a workflow that all it does is it look at all the other workflows and it tries to correct the issues. All it does is it just monitors other AI agents and other workflows. That's what it would have to do. So it's, in theory, it can be done. I'm sure somebody's done it, but it would take so much time to do that. It wouldn't take hours. It wouldn't take tens of hours. It'd take maybe hundreds of hours to do that. It's a lot of time because there's infinite amounts of issues that can happen. And we don't know when these issues are going to happen, and it takes time to figure out with testing of these workflows when the issues happen. There's a lot of unknowns of things that you will never even think of that could go wrong, would go wrong. So it's only with a lot of time and testing when you figure out the issues can you even build like a level 5. But yeah, so that workflow that I showed you was level 3, and I've had it connected to many other workflows where they're all working together. So technically I've done level 4. But level 4 has issues. It's hard to maintain. The human needs to watch it a lot. But it does like maybe the job of like 10 or 20 humans. So if one human's watching 10 or 20 AI agents all working together, 10 and 20 humans, that's pretty good. That's very good. That's very valuable. And second part of the question? Oh, I build these workflows, yeah. That's my service.
I have a question. All these big diagrams scares me. So I think if there's some CLI tool to configure all the agent automation, like in one YAML file. Yes.
Yeah, but of course this is scary. I show you big complicated stuff. This is simple. It's simple but powerful. Learn this. That's your job. Your job is to build a simple AI agent that looks like this. That's all you should do. It will probably take you, I did it in minutes because I built hundreds of these. If you're doing it for the first time, you're gonna not know where to click, where to get the API keys. It's gonna take you a few hours, maybe even more, and that's totally fine, that's normal. This is where you start. You start with this, you start with this, or you start with, who said you? You said? Flowwise, so you can start with Flowwise, yeah. Just start with any of these automations because you need to think about how these things work. They have inputs and they have outputs, and right now you're like, I don't know what an input or output is. But once you build a lot of these, you'll really understand the fundamentals of how information goes in Information is transformed, information comes out. It's something totally different. It's valuable now. And then you start to realize, oh, that's what humans do. We do the exact same thing. There's no difference. But you need to reframe your mind around this. So it starts with something very simple like this. This is the most valuable thing you can learn because it's the easiest to learn and it's the most powerful. So if you're going to put any time into anything, like 1 hour into this, I would not spend an hour on this. I would spend an hour learning this. Because this can do all of this basically, or more, with instead of separate nodes. Like this starts here, ends here. This goes in and it can connect to a bunch of different things in theory like this. That's why this is much more powerful.
Nice. One question. You mentioned, well, the agent basically has memory, has the brain, and has the tools. The tools right now is mostly software-based, but on a philosophical question in the future, when it comes to be, the tools will be hardware-based, right? Like driving cars or doing things, right? Like drone, taking pictures in some security facility. I don't know. Those will be the next tools.
Yes.
What's going to happen when we get there?
But this can use a code tool, so you can write your own custom code, which in theory, if it's custom code, custom tool, you can use a cable. That cable can connect to, I don't know, a printer, like over there. And so you can, in theory, I don't know why this couldn't happen, but there's already software on computers that operates these physical devices here. This can connect to that, and this could do it automated.
Yeah, the point is, you mentioned if you are not working with computers, then you're not, you are safe, but I guess it's not, right? It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, so there's just a matter of time until this happens. Yeah, it's already a thing. It's not that great, but it will be. We go to the beach. Or else we go to the beach. We go to Mars. I don't know. What else do? We go on TV shows. We argue with each other. We fight. That's what we become dogs. What? Yeah.
Hi. I would like to ask you if you have used this tool on the software development workflow to create software.
Yeah.
Have you used it? How do
Yeah.
you control it?
Yeah, great question. So this is my product. It's a SaaS product. I'm not gonna go into what it does, but it's live, it's working. It's connected to n8n workflows in the background. It finds jobs. Everything that you can see here, all this information that it found is all n8n workflows in the background, all automations. It's a software in the front end. So if I click on this, we have messages generated. AI agents wrote these messages. I never wrote these messages. So how does this look in the back end? I'll show you. I don't know if this is your question, but you may find this. It is? Okay. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't like to load. There we go. This. So this is the workflow here that underpins in the background that website that I just showed you. This. So when we're creating these messages here, how does that look in the n8n flow? If we go to executions here, we can dissect the workflow and we can see exactly where the messages were created. They're created here. And we can see the exact messages. Here they are. This is them here. These messages were created by this agent, which we're rendering now in a front-end software. So, yeah.
So you created a product with n8n and you handle all the procedures.
Yeah. All the information that's generated here which is a complex workflow. As you can see, it takes a lot of information that goes into it. It's got a lot of prompts. This is the user prompt. It makes these messages based on this very complex prompt here. This prompt, I've gone through many iterations. This is like maybe version 12 or version 13. I don't know, I lost track. But the messages need to be good. I'm selling messages, so they need to be good. So I've done lots of, you see it's a very big prompt. And I give it a lot of different messages here, different templates. And I give it a lot of different instructions. And we don't know what the AI is going to do with these instructions. So we don't know this until we test it. We look at the output and we realize, okay, we can't just look at the output once. We have to look at it, for example, many times. So this is probably a bad example here. There's only one item here, so let me look at a different one. Hang on, where there's more items. This one has none. Okay, this one's 4 minutes. This one's probably good. These things are all running automatically. One item. It's got to be one with more. I got to look at this and see why there's only one item. There we go, 13 items. Okay, good. So we can see all the different messages it generated. And we can analyze the messages. We can get AI to analyze the messages and basically benchmark it on how well the LM produced the messages versus the instructions here. And then we can get AI to, you know, if it's not doing things well enough, we can get AI to rewrite the prompt that hopefully will result in the messages being better. So that's how you would debug and refine this and so on. But as you can see, yeah, to answer your question, this is all built, all of what you see here, finding all these jobs and creating these outreach messages, it's all done n8n. So this is an example of how you would use n8n to basically, I don't know, connect it to a front end, to like a software. Yeah.
Hi. In an hypothetical example of using this AI, if you are using it to combine the workflow, the human workflow with computer workflow, how can you feed the memory on time of like accountancy programs that is the human workflow to make like strategies of an enterprise or something, to like how do you feed the memory on time, on real time, or 15 minutes, like it could actualize? How can you imagine that it can do this workflow?
We would have a consulting engagement and I would understand better what you're asking me to do.
Okay.
That's what we would do.
I think lo que te refieres es, he's asking about how to connect real-time employees, like a workflow, with AI workflow. So, el accounting. Eso pasa en tiempo real. O sea, la memoria del agente se actualiza en cuestión de segundos, a menos que tengas suficientes créditos o alguna cuestión que no se atore con otro paso.
Hello. I'm a beginner, so it's difficult for me to imagine where I can start. So which are the requirements that I need to check in a task for me to be able to start automation the process with this?
So if you're starting from the first time, you've never done automation ever? Okay. Does this work? Hello? Yeah. Start here. This is where you start. You go to YouTube, you type in no-code automation. These videos are in all languages, no problem. You start here. YouTube is your best friend. There's nothing better than YouTube for learning automations. It's the best resource right now. I will show you. learn automation. Aprende automation. This. You watch these videos, that's not good automation. Connect apps, Zapier, don't use Zapier. This guy's good. Wide learn automations, blah, blah, blah. All these videos will teach you the basic stuff. Or for example, here we go. See this? I told you this. This. Watch this video. You follow the instructions on how to do it. He's going to give you, he's going to explain the AI agent the exact same way that I explained it, maybe a different way, maybe a better way. I don't know. But you follow the videos. In these videos, you will learn a lot of different stuff. They will teach you all the different tools. You can go through it at your own pace. Right now I'm giving you free advice, but this ends, so you can go and do this by yourself. So YouTube videos, they all share their screen. They walk you through it. See? They show you how to use Cursor, how to, well, this isn't Cursor, this is ChatGPT, but they show you how to debug workflow with ChatGPT if you want. So these videos are very good. This is the best way to learn. And then you also want to learn with other people. So maybe you guys can make an automation community and you can all learn together. You can all help each other. You can't do this by yourself. It's too hard by yourself. There's too much to learn. You have to do it with a community. So I recommend, I have a slide on it somewhere. This. I talked about, when you find these videos on YouTube, a lot of the times they are telling you to go to their school community, school.com, and on there, some of these communities are paid, other times they're free. So start with the free ones because it's free. So just start with the communities, see what people are talking about, ask questions. That's where you start.
My question, so far in your experience, what have been the hardest thing to learn or to implement in your case?
I don't know, I just keep doing more and more complicated stuff, so. But when I was starting to build complicated workflows like this, as you can see, this is the loop node. Loop nodes are really, really hard to learn. That took me like maybe a month to really understand how it works. This is like intermediate advanced level automation. So yeah, do not start with loops. It's way too hard, yeah. That took me a while to learn. Yeah.
I know you only speak English, but do you have any idea whether the AI agents perform better in English than Spanish?
No, en español es muy bien también. No, sí, sí.
So when we are trying to reach new knowledge, sometimes more common on these high-tech topics, many people trying to teach you are more like snake oil sellers. I'm trying to relate with, let's say, Bitcoin, where there are a lot of ideas, and some of them are more harmful than others. So which topics you can share with us that can be like red flags of content creators, and so it prevents us from going through some channels that might not be good?
Yeah, very good question. Yeah, so basically what to avoid when you're learning, because you can learn stuff that you're not going to learn anything from. It's just a trap. Yeah. Okay. I have an answer for you. A very good answer. If I can move this over. It's so hard. It's this way. Okay, okay. Shit. Okay. You're going to see this stuff everywhere. This is called a lead gen. It's in English, but basically saying correo electrónicos es muerte, cambio a las otras automaciones de n8n. it will change everything. Cambio todos. Solo necesitas robar me con este keyword, por ejemplo. Trap. Is a trap, okay? A lot of the times these workflows don't work, or they don't do anything, or you can get these workflows for free, but people do this all the time. They make grandiose statements. I built an AI system that does everything for me. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. I don't know, but he's going to basically say, comment Notion, and I will send you the JSON file, which every n8n workflow is a JSON file, but you will see this one's not that bad. Sometimes it will be like, oh wow, laid off from Salesforce, 4,000 layoffs, look at that. Some guy, that's one of the people vacationing, I guess. That sucks. That's why you have to automate. This guy's bad. Snake oil. Yeah, this dude. Yeah. India, red flag. Scammers. Big scammers. Here we go. Perfect example. I built AI sales rep that replaces your 150,000 per year sales team. It does everything. Todos, mira, muy complexo, todos aquí. No, probably not. These are way too complicated, way too many things that can go wrong. We don't even know what the process, we have no idea what this thing does. But you're gonna see this all the time. This is a trap, big trap. Yeah. But this guy does it all the time. Look at this, here's another example, yeah. And people fall for it, see. Yeah.
Cool, muchas gracias. Thank you guys. Bien, chicos, muchas gracias a todos por su participación y por asistir. Antes de irse, una noticia muy importante. Hace aproximadamente 2 meses, aquí en Hacker Garage, hubo una reunión de n8n donde nos sentamos a practicar un poco este skill de crear workflows. Entonces, invitarlos a que si alguien tiene el interés de participar, de aprender, hands-on, como decía John, es lo mejor es tener una alternativa a un grupo presencial con el que podamos aprender directamente, practicar. Y esa es la invitación que les quiero hacer el día de hoy. Entonces, la invitación es, vamos a ver, un segundo, a poner, a ver, aquí va, un segundo. Mirror. Suspenso, no es cierto. Gracias a Hacker Garage por facilitar este espacio y a John por compartirnos de su conocimiento. Invitación para ustedes próxima semana, próximo martes, tenemos este taller. Y a manera de medir algo, un poco como el aprendizaje de hoy, póngase de pie quien aprendió algo hoy. O levante la mano, está bien, somos muy lazy. Ok, la invitación es a que aquellos que aprendieron algo saquen su celular, tomen un escaneo de este código QR y se vengan el próximo martes para hacer algo hands-on con la aplicación. Por último, este es mi contacto. Si alguien quiere ponerse, empezar a tener conversaciones respecto a n8n, aquí yo vengo con frecuencia a Hacker Garage y podemos empezar una comunidad, lo que precisamente decía John, creo que es la mejor manera. Creo que la pregunta de Ismael fue muy buena. ¿Cómo puedo evitar caer en el rabbit hole de meterme a aventarme chaquetas mentales, estar viendo un montón de videos de cómo está esta complejidad de eso, con la experiencia que yo he tenido también haciendo n8n por un año más o menos? Sí pasa mucho que te inventas esta historia donde haces un workflow súper complejo con un montón de steps y algo sale mal y un pasito que salió mal arruinó todo tu workflow. Es mejor hacer workflows pequeños. Y lo mejor, pues ir practicando. Entonces, si a alguien le interesa, mándeme un WhatsApp y nos vemos aquí en Hacker Garage para practicar. También soy partner de n8n. Si alguien quiere una cortesía pues mándenme un WhatsApp. Si alguien quiere una cortesía de n8n mayor a la del free trial que les dan, se las puedo regalar con mucho gusto. Pueden usar ese link o mándenme un WhatsApp. Y muchas gracias a todos y nos vemos en la próxima.
Gracias. Antes de que se vayan, les recordamos, no tienen que irse inmediatamente, queda un espacio para platicar, para conocernos. Nada más les pedimos que nos echen la mano a agarrar su sillita, la ponemos allá atrás, eso nos ayuda a tener más espacio, estar cómodos. El baño está allá afuera, por los que llegaron tarde, tenemos una tiendita, si gustan cooperar, bueno, es de la forma en que nosotros también nos ayudamos a capitalizarnos. Esto es Hacker Garage, lo que dice mi compañero Sergio es justamente, somos un espacio para propiciar estas pláticas o estos temas, y vengan por favor, si no es algo específico de n8n que esté programado, pero vengan, platiquen, conozcan gente y nos puede ir súper bien. Les recordamos que tenemos algunos servicios también como impresión 3D, corte láser, plotter de navaja para hacer playeras, para hacer viniles. Pues estamos a su disposición. El día que quieran venir, bienvenidos. Muchas gracias. Esto fue Hacker Garage.